I strive for excellence. I hope you do too. But along the way, we're going to have all these emotions that happen, right? I can't believe I haven't been successful at it yet. I can't believe I haven't mastered it yet. I can't believe that I keep falling down every single time I expect to win. I fall down. So I bought the course and I still haven't had the success. I bought the next course. I still haven't had the success. So we're looking at ourselves and we're like, man, I'm so disappointed. I'm so discouraged. And remember, this is my key for this particular episode. It is not the emotion of, man, I'm disappointed. I'm discouraged. It's how we react to that.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey, what's up, Self-Talk family? This is Darnell Self. And today, I'm solo. No T-self, but that's okay. It's a self-love for me. I still love myself, and I hope you love yourself. This is a self-talk experience where we remind ourselves that the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determines what and even who we attract for ourselves. And today, I want to talk about a lesson that I think it's critical for all of us who want to take our lives to the next level. And that is, it's not what happens to us. It's what happens for us. Check this out. Emotions are emotions, but it's how we react to those emotions that get us in trouble. So, no one wants to be lonely, but it's how we react to being lonely that gets us in trouble. When we accept certain people in our lives because we're lonely, is when we do certain things because we're lonely. It's how we react to things, right? Listen, there are going to be some things that cause us to be angry. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's a real emotion. It's not the anger itself. It's not the emotion itself. It's how we react to the emotion. I was I told some of my audience in Vegas that I went to the front desk and got into it with the front desk clerk. Like, for what? And I was upset, because I didn't understand what was happening. First of all, it was taking a long time, and I was in a VIP line. And so I'm like, he kept going back to talk to his manager, but never told me why he was leaving. I won't get into the details, but I got upset. I'm like, go get the manager. Like, but I said it a lot meaner than what I'm saying right now. It was very direct. It was like, go. He was like, well, the manager's busy. I'm not going to be able to get the manager. I said, get the manager. And my point is, the emotion of me expecting a certain standard is not wrong. It's how I react to it that could be wrong. I know that in any negotiation, I'm always thinking about the end result. And if I'm thinking about the end result, which is I want a nice room, I want the best view, then I also have to concern myself with the interaction that gets me that end result. And emotions could unfortunately cause us to not get what we want in the first place. So I shouldn't say that, not the emotion, how we react to the emotion. That's what this self-talk is all about. Yes, there are going to be some times where you feel a certain way, but it's how we react. That's going to be the key. So let's make sure we get this right. I am not saying lower your standards. It's not what I'm saying, so that you're not disappointed, because that's a whole nother topic when people say, well, maybe I just need to lower my standards so I'm not so disappointed, because of course, when you don't expect certain things, you're not likely to be disappointed because there was no expectation there. So it's like, I don't even expect him to do this. I don't even expect her to do this. I don't even expect to get this in my life. So then there's limited disappointment because there's no expectation. That's not what I'm saying here, right? What I'm saying here is that sometimes when we don't raise our standards to expect certain things, we actually cause ourselves to live a certain life. So these emotions that are going to happen should not shift because we've lowered our standards. I keep my standards high so that I have my quality of life where I want it. If you lower your standards, you lower the potential of the quality of life that you live, period. And so I'm asking that the emotions that you carry, and you will carry some emotions. I carry emotions where I am very forward thinking. I am very solution oriented. And so I become very determined, trying to find the nicest word because T Self is not here, but she'll be watching it. I become very determined and aggressive sometimes towards getting what I want. And it's because when I set my mind to go get something, I plan to get it. If I'm going to do something, I don't want to be an 8. I'm going to be a 10. Now I might have to start off as an 8, but just because I don't know it well right now. But my anticipation, my expectation at some point is to be a 10. It's to be better. I strive for excellence. I hope you do too. But along the way, we're going to have all these emotions that happen, right? I can't believe I haven't been successful at it yet. I can't believe I haven't mastered it yet. I can't believe that I keep falling down every single time I expect to win. I fall down. So I bought the course and I still haven't had the success. I bought the next course. I still haven't had the success. So we're looking at ourselves and we're like, man, I'm so disappointed. I'm so discouraged. And remember, this is my key for this particular episode. It is not the emotion of, man, I'm disappointed. I'm discouraged. It's how we react to that. How do we react to being discouraged? How do we react to being disappointed? Do we say, you know what? I'm discouraged right now, but I'm going to put myself in an environment of encouraged people so that I can be lifted up in this moment. Or I'm going to stay with me, the discouraged person. And the only person that's talking to me right now is a discouraged person because it's self-talk. So now my discouraging thoughts, which is my self-talk, is talking to a discouraged person. Where does that lead us? Not into an encouraging space. So it's going to be critical for us at that point to say, okay, yes, I'm discouraged, but can I read a book? Can I listen to a song? Could I say a prayer? Can I get into a room can I call a best friend for encouragement? The person you know is going to be encouraging and not the person that co-signs with your weakness and is like, yeah, I can't believe that, man. Man, that stuff never works. Man, yeah, if I were you, I mean, social media is not going to work for you. Stop posting. The business is not going to work for you. Stop marketing. Right? So no, you want the person to say, keep going. I don't care if you don't see results yet. Keep going. So remember, it's not your emotion. It's how you respond to the emotion. That's what's going to make the difference. And this is the self-talk we got to have. This is how, listen, when I had limited resources and I was driving my father's pickup truck and I had literally $20 in my pocket, that emotion is not something I have ever found words to truly articulate. In fact, I think I pause and stutter every time I try to explain what it feels like when you don't have money to go to the grocery store. When you're like, God, I don't know what tomorrow holds. I'm not sure how this is going to work out for me. And in that space and in that moment, the emotion, I'm not sure if I could have avoided. I felt alone because who am I going to talk to? Am I going to talk to my wife and she gets even more discouraged? I mean, yes, I need to talk to her, but what am I going to say? And then I got to think through that. You know, maybe I talk to my mom and she's like, hey, I'm sorry. Do I disappoint her? I never want to disappoint my mom. Does my ego allow me to talk to my friends? And they're like, dude, I didn't even know you were going through that, man. So the emotions are the emotions. But how do you respond to them? How do you react to them? You react, and you become negative and bitter, and you stay stagnant? Or do we respond and we say, I'm thankful for this season of my life. I never forget it. So that when I make $1 million, I'll stay humble. And people will say, how are you so humble? Because I remember where I came from. And I remember what it felt like. And I responded in that moment that I'll never feel like this again. I'll never go through this again. My kids will never have to go through this again, because it's not what happened to me, it's how I responded to it. Because what happens doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And I just want to do this quick episode to encourage you that yes, you're going to have some emotions that you cannot control. There'll be some emotions where you'll cry and you won't be able to stop the tears from coming. There'll be some emotions where you're laughing and you're so happy in such a joyful space. But just remember, your emotional intelligence is going to be important in that moment, because somebody around you, even when you're joyful, they're sad. And they needed you. They needed you to be joyful because they needed just a piece, to borrow a piece of your joy. And they can't even believe they're laughing right now in their circumstances, but because you're laughing, it causes them to laugh and to say, you know what, I needed that laugh. I don't know if you've ever been around someone like that and they're like, you know what, I needed that laugh, thank you. Because they were hurting in that moment. So just remember, everything's happening for you. Don't react to the emotions, respond, and allow them to make you better. This has been another quick episode of the Self-Talk Experience. Remember, the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually will determine what you attract for yourself. See you guys the next time.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.